You are Guyana's most valuable resource. And as citizens, we must recognize that we wield power within this matter. For far too long, we have tolerated unacceptable behaviors within the private transportation industry. We continuously allow overcharging, overcrowding, reckless driving, and inappropriate conduct to go unchecked. This has led many Guyanese to feel frustrated with the private transportation system. And as such, many are now calling for a state-run transportation system. Now, this kind of infrastructure requires careful and strategic planning. And if or when done correctly, citizens could benefit enormously. However, we must also recognize that thousands of families depend on this industry for survival. Many drivers rely entirely on this occupation to provide for their households. And while many operators have taken advantage of the Guyanese population through overcrowding, overcharging, reckless driving, and overall poor treatment towards commuters, the reality remains that they are still Guyanese citizens who deserve consideration in any reform process. Questions like, how would these individuals be integrated into a state-run transportation system? Or what would happen to those operators who currently have loans on their vehicles? Would alternative opportunities be provided to those drivers? Or would the government purchase those vehicles, those buses that are in good working conditions? These are serious questions that must be answered before any major transition can take place. Rather than replacing the private transportation industry, I believe this sector must be heavily regulated. These individuals are entrusted with one of our country's most valuable resource, human life. Yet many citizens feel as though commuters' safety and comfort are often not treated with the seriousness they deserve. As a result, stricter rules and regulations must be enforced within this industry. Music should be appropriate and be played at an appropriate level. Buses must not be overloaded, and reckless driving should not be tolerated. And traffic laws must be obeyed at all times. Some expect those conditions or consider those conditions as being outlandish demands. But reasonable expectations such as cautious driving, fair pricing, safety conditions, and respectable treatment towards commuters are not outlandish demands. And they should not be demanded because these are basic standards that every citizen deserves. For years, many commuters have felt financially exploited by the private transportation industry. Fares have unofficially increased steadily, often doubled, When night falls, the fear increases. If rain falls, the fear increases. And in many areas, there are no real alternative. For example, traveling from West Coast to Turkine can cost anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 per a day. Over the course of 5 days, that is approximately 7,500. Now, I provide this example to you so that you can imagine the burden that this would place on a single parent or a household with multiple children to support, while still having to pay bills, provide lunches, and manage everyday expense. Transportation is not merely a convenience. It is an essential service that directly affects education, employment, and the quality of life. Any discussion about reform must therefore balance accountability, affordability, and compassion for both commuters and workers alike.